job of the art director to transform these sets so that you, the public, do not recognize it from one production to the next. Now, these buildings are not really buildings at all. What we call facades, the front and sides of buildings. That's because we only shoot what the camera needs to see to let your imagination sort of fill in the rest. And you can literally be any part of the world, and it's all in the job of the set decorator and the art director to dress up the windows, change the language on the signs. But in this case, we are in New York City, and you can tell by some of the famous landmarks that you're seeing around, including Macy's on 34th Street, you see Trump Tower, several famous theaters, and many, many more. Now I should mention that some of the famous recent productions that have shot here in our metropolitan area include episodes of 24, great show, Transformers, Spider-Man 2, The Changeling, starring Angelina Jolie, directed by Clint Eastwood, and a show that just recently got the axe, Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. Now remember how I said we could literally take you in any part of the world? It just takes a little imagination, set decorating, changing the language on the signs. Well, here's exactly how they do it. Like I said, the job of the art director is to transform the facades so that you guys, the public, do not recognize it from one production to the next. So we could actually dress up New York Street. And in this case, as you're seeing, we did. We turned it into the swinging 60s of London for Austin Powers and Spy Shaggy. But it was also featured in many other films, which you're seeing on your screens. Bourne Ultimatum. Now the backside of these facades are quite, not a lot to see, kind of boring looking, but we actually do use the backside of these facades to film alley scenes, loading dock, sort of industrial sort of areas, and the sheet metal that we put on the backside of these facades is very important because it does block the sunlight from shining through the windows of those facades that they appear to be real buildings, when in fact they're just, facades, false fronts, French. But a lot of these newer sets are actually what we call practical sets, which means we can actually shoot inside and outside. It's not just a false front. You'll be seeing quite a few practical sets along the tour as we take you through more of the backlot. Okay, so one of the biggest tragedies of our fire from a couple of years ago was that of the King Kong attraction, which was lost. Alright, so this old bridge over here on your right, that was our collapsible bridge. It's been seen in numerous television shows, including this episode of Quantum Leap, also episodes of The $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, and it's an